Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and here on this channel I ramble with articulation, I hope, about a variety of different visual, audio and musical things that I pull out of the videos that I watch. And today I'm going back 10 years to a video by Home Free called Champagne Taste, brackets, on a beer budget. This I know they have just done a re-release of, but this was requested before they did the re-release, and so my decision was to go with the original video. I believe the video is different now, and I thought, no, I'm going to go with the one that was recommended to me originally. I apologize if that was a mistake. I don't know, but I'm going with the thing that people said I should watch. I'm sure the song is the same. I don't know if it's a new recording or not. I just know it's a new video. But this is one I was told is a very good song. It features Rob whistling, which is cool. I love skillful whistling. I think that's a very cool trait. I used to be able to whistle a lot better than I can now. Yeah. Yeah, it's not really there anymore. I used to have a much stronger whistle back in the day. But it's a cool thing to be able to do, and I've had a lot of respect for people who whistle well. It can be quite an extraordinary instrument if it's used right. So I'm keen to see what Rob does with this. Other than that, I believe this is original. I don't know much about it, so there's not going to be an awful lot for me to say, other than I'm just looking forward to seeing something that sounds really light-hearted. It's a great title for a start, and this one's been sitting on my list for a little while. Thank you to Gaia1 and Sally Kennett, who were two in particular who recommended this. I've had a few recommendations for it, but they were the first two advocates back in the day. Yeah, I'm getting into it now, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Home Free has in store. They are always great, and yeah, it's going to be fun. I don't really have much more to say, so I'm just going to jump straight in and say welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. If it is, the way I work is I'm going to watch this from beginning to end without stopping it, commenting and emoting over the top. I will then go back and watch again, this time pausing, interrupting and offering what commentary and analysis I feel I can, based on what I've just seen and heard and the foreknowledge of having seen it the one time before. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and if you would care to support the channel, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com or patreon.com, and in both cases that is /DavidKReacts, or you can leave a super thanks here on YouTube, and any of those would be very gratefully appreciated if you would care to do so. And that's about it. I really don't have much more to say about this because I don't know anything about the song, other than it's 10 years old, so they're going to look young compared to the videos. Well, no, I guess... what did I do last of theirs? I feel like that was slightly older. Maybe not. I can't remember now. My brain over the last month or so has disintegrated, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, I just know it's going to be fun, because these guys do great videos, and I think anything that's as lighthearted and as highly recommended as this is going to be really good. So, without any further delay, this is Home Free performing Champagne Taste on a beer budget.
The other day I checked my bank account, and I could swear it was the wrong amount, and I didn't understand because I've been working hard.
That's great. What a start.
I didn't know where it went. I hadn't even paid the rent. Then the Mercedes pulled up in the yard. Oh, Lord, I should have seen it coming. This time I'm in deep. Now I'm heading to the poorhouse or heading to jail, and if I end up there, I ain't making bail, and if it goes to court, I sure don't have a case.
This is so good.
I ran out of money some time ago, but if you look at my wife, you'd never know. I'm afraid my baby's got champagne taste on a beer budget.
Oh, this is so much
Throat
fun.
dried up and my heart just sunk as she motioned me over and popped the trunk, and I tried to ignore her absent-minded smile. And boy, I was greeted by quite the crew. This Louis Vuitton and some Jimmy Choo, and that was just the fellas who were sitting on top of the pile.
That's... oh, these lyrics are
There's a
great.
Walmart a block away, and I don't think they sell these brands. Now I'm heading to the poorhouse or heading to jail, and if I end up there, I ain't making bail, and if it goes to court, I sure don't have a case. 'Cause I ran out of money some time ago, but
oh,
my wife,
great. I love this so much.
On a beer budget.
The humor in this is wonderful.
All the bills are in my name. All the bills are in his name. They're gonna haul my ass away.
Oh, these lyrics are great.
Heading to the poorhouse or heading to jail. And if I end up there, I ain't making bail. And if it goes to court, I sure don't have a case. I ran out of money.
Was that Harvey?
But if you look at my wife, you never
Or did I just see something?
I'm afraid my baby's got champagne taste. On a beer budget.
This is so tongue-in-cheek in such a wonderful way. Also, great whistling from Rob. Okay, I'm going to stop that because I don't know what this song is and I don't want to spoil things for myself. That's so good! I was kind of struggling. I was desperately trying to concentrate and not just burst out laughing and not hear half of the song. I love that. It's beautifully lighthearted. I love that sense of just, this is slightly over-exaggerated and yet it's also horrifyingly, it could hit home real easy. That is so funny. Okay, I need to see there's got to be some information about this. Oh, right, of course, they're very big on all their links and things like that, which is great, by all means, check. Written by Tim Foust and Joe Bilotta. Awesome. 5th gen production, excellent work. Amanda Day for her role as Tim's wife. Excellent. Roger and the whole team at Maplewood Mercedes-Benz. That's awesome. I love that. Nate Stone for being the cool guy in Shades, and also for his general gopher ability, and everyone at Cowboy Jack's in Woodbury for letting us shoot on location. Awesome. That's great. Who was the cool guy in Shades? I'm going to be back in a second. I just want to check a couple of things. I just checked the comments of the video for 2 seconds to make sure that somebody at some point had said, was that Arvi? And it was Arvi. I wasn't going crazy. I thought that was him. Just because he wasn't credited, I wasn't sure. Let's go back. This is so good. I don't know if I heard half of that because I was internally laughing so much and trying to focus, and it didn't work terribly well. But this is really good. I mean, what a great beginning. You have this great walking bass. Dum, dum, boom, 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 all this sort of stuff. Rob's whistling is on point. He's got a really clear whistle and a lot of flexibility and agility in how he moves around with that. And then just this cha thing that's going on the rest of the time. You know straight out the gate that this is going to be fun. Like, everything about this says fun, and I love it. Great choice as well to have the brushes from Rupp. This thing that's going on there. It makes total sense. It's the exact right style for what's going on here. I also just love this idea that they have literally put a canoe on a lawn to do this. This is so good. Yep, chilling back here in my fold-out chair in a canoe. Because, obviously, why wouldn't you be? I love it.
The other day I checked my...
I'm just going to stop straight there and say what a brilliant choice to have Tim speak the first verse. Because it makes it so personal. You connect with it straight away. It gives you this sense of being included somehow. It's almost like a conversation. Whereas as soon as someone starts singing, it's interesting because you sing, at least in the musical theatre definition, you sing when the emotion becomes so strong that you can't talk about it anymore. You have to burst into song. And yet, in some way, there's also a slight degree of us as the audience of detachment because we're not included anymore. We don't necessarily know the song. We're not included as part of the song. It's a fascinating kind of fight that my brain has sometimes when I listen to musical theatre. But there is something about speaking that I think includes the audience a little bit more. And I think it sets up this song particularly so very well because, I think we've all known somebody, at whatever degree of proximity to yourself, everybody has known somebody who spends beyond their means. And so this is exceptionally relatable. It might be you. It might be your spouse. It might be your third cousin 42 times removed. Who's to say? But, there is somebody in your life somewhere who is probably like this. And it hits all the right switches. And because he's done it in this very casual way, it brings us into the joke in a really cool way. I love it.
The other day I checked my bank account and I could swear it was...
And a very simple touch just to add the you just get that bass drum coming in from Rupp. It's such a simple addition, but it keys us that we've pushed into the next section of the song.
The other day I checked my bank account and I could swear it was the wrong amount, and I didn't understand because I've been working hard. For the life of me...
That passed by just because he has that, and it's great. He has a whistling line then, so it makes total sense for him to be on screen, but rather than cut away, he just walks in front of the camera. That is priceless. This is so well done.
I didn't understand because I've been working hard. For the life of me, I didn't know where it went.
And then everybody's there. Their movement in this is so good. Like running around to get into place, like just making sure as the camera pans, they're just there. And this I don't sense any camera tricks. I think this is a genuine oneer. And so they've got to get that, they have to be in the right place every time. I'd be interested to know how many takes it took them to get this whole thing as smooth as it is, because it really is smooth.
Working hard. For the life of me, I didn't know where it went. I hadn't even paid the rent. Then the Mercedes pulled up in the yard. Oh, Lord.
I love the fact that it's vocally produced engine sounds. That is so good. And they pass behind you. The way it's mixed out.
Then the Mercedes pulled up in the yard. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, the way that they've mixed it, it sounds like the car drives behind you whilst it's in front of you in the shot, which kind of emphasizes the fact that it's them, not the car, that's making the noise. I really, really like that. And then yet again, while the car has supposedly passed behind us, what's actually passed behind us? The four of them. They're suddenly over on the other side now.
Then the Mercedes pulled up in the yard. Oh, Lord, I should have seen it coming. This time I'm in deep. Now men in the poorhouse are heading to...
Again, simple things, but that... I don't beatbox, I say this all the time, but just to clarify for anyone who's never seen any of my videos before, I don't know how to do that. So my sounds will be poor imitations, just trying to give you the gist of what's going on. But I love that we just have that little run into the chorus there. It's just a small fill, nothing particularly showy or complicated, but it just pushes us into the next bit again. They're very good at transitioning from section to section in songs.
This time I'm in deep. Now men in the poorhouse are heading to jail, and if I end up there, I ain't making bail, and if it goes to court, I sure don't have a case.
Lovely harmony. I really, really like the motion that they've got going on here. Everything's supporting Tim's melody line really well, but it's interesting in its own right. You kind of want to hear what they're singing and where they're going. This is a very, very well-written arrangement here.
I ain't making bail, and if it goes to court, I sure don't have a case. 'Cause I ran out of money some time ago, but if you look at my wife, you'd never know. I'm afraid my baby's got champagne taste on a beer budget.
The simplicity of the gag of, here's something really expensive, toss it, give me a beer. So simple, so effective. I also want to jump back. Has he had that the whole time? Oh, he has had that the whole time.
Oh, Lord.
But he didn't have it here.
For the life of me, I didn't know where it went.
Oh, yes, he does. He's holding the beer there. Just keeping it behind him. Oh, that's sneaky. Well played. Very well played. This is why they've thought about this very carefully, and it makes the video so slick. I really like that.
Hadn't even paid the rent. Then the Mercedes pulled up in the yard.
And I also love that the Mercedes is already pulling up when the camera pans past, but you kind of don't notice it because you're focusing on Tim. At least the first time you watch the video. When you know it's coming, now you see it. Also, great camera work. I know 5th Gen does wonderful stuff here, but they're managing. There's a lot of motion blur in the background, and sure, the guys get blurred a little bit when they're being passed by, but Tim is really strongly in focus, even when both camera and he are moving. It's really, really well done.
Oh, Lord, I should have seen it coming. This time I'm in deep. Now men in the poorhouse are heading to jail, and if I end up there, I ain't making bail. And if it goes to court, I sure don't have a case. 'Cause I ran out of money some time ago, but if you look at my wife, you'd never know. I'm afraid my baby's got champagne taste on a beer budget.
There's also something really cool about the sloppiness, the stains on his skin and shirt, just tossing the beer out of the way. I love the way they've committed to this performance, and it's just like, they're not doing much to indicate what they're trying to get, but what they are doing is so well presented. Love it.
Well, my throat dried up and my heart just sunk as she motioned me over and popped the trunk, and I tried to ignore her absent-minded smile.
That is brilliant. That little series of 3 sounds with the freeze frames as well. This is such a good video.
Me over and popped the trunk, and I tried to ignore her absent-minded smile.
And we don't use that again, I don't think. I don't remember it. But what an effective thing to do. And it could feel out of place, except that there's such a beautiful degree of kind of kitsch and tongue-in-cheek nudge about the way that this song is presented. It fits, and it works, and it's fine, and I don't mind it at all. Where 90% of the time I'd be like, oh, come on, guys, you did that once in the whole video. I don't care. It's great. I love it.
Off the trunk, and I tried to ignore her absent-minded smile. And boy,
I love the lovely, just like coming back down from there. I love that we've just focused on the absent-minded smile of the wife, and then you get the really high-pitched really nice moment there to have somebody kind of go higher and think maybe it's just her casual, really nice touch.
was greeted by quite to ignore her absent-minded smile. And boy, I was greeted by quite the crew. This Louis Vuitton and some Jimmy Choo, and that was just the fellas who were sitting on top of the pile.
I love that personification right there. Like, Jimmy Choo, and that was just the fellas who were sitting on top of the pile. The fellas turned the shoes into the men who make them, or who run the brand. Them's just the fellas sitting on top of the pile. That lyric is so smart. I really, really like that. This is very clever writing.
Louis Vuitton and some Jimmy Choo, and that was just the fellas who were sitting on top of the pile. I said, baby, there's a Walmart.
That is such a good touch too. Here he is, tossing ridiculously expensive shoes across the yard to his mates he's been drinking with. That in and of itself. And then he just goes like this and poof, grease stain. Which means he's holding all of these expensive shoes with grease-stained hands. It's that balance between the ludicrous and the absurd, or what, I can't remember what that saying is, but it's so well done between the idea of him being, this rough, hard-working individual with somebody who just has such expensive stuff kicking around. Small things. Absolutely brilliant work.
Boy, I was greeted by quite the crew. This Louis Vuitton and some Jimmy Choo, and that was just the fellas who were sitting on top of the pile. I said, baby, there's a Walmart a block away, and I don't think they sell these brands.
If they do, be suspicious.
Block away, and I don't think they sell these brands.
And I keep stopping. These whistling moments, these interjections Rob is doing are so good. Like his work in this, it just adds an astonishing quality to this song that wouldn't be there if he weren't doing this. It's really, really smart.
And I don't think they sell these brands. Now men in the poorhouse are heading to jail, and if I end up there, I ain't making bail. And if it goes to court, I sure don't have a case. 'Cause I ran out of money some time ago, but if you look at my wife, you'd never know.
This shot, the fact that it keeps... I thought that pass-off was going to be from Rupp to the wife. Or he was going to drop it in a trash can. But when I saw he was passing it to somebody, I thought he was passing it to the wife. And then he passes it to Tim, who goes down the line again. Well done. Like, whoever came up with that idea for this video, and also what I like is they've managed to film it at an angle where you cannot see in the reflection of the window behind them what is going on. Because the thing that would spoil this gag so much was if you saw the reflection of somebody running into position, and they've managed to avoid that. So really, really smart work on this video. It's so much fun. I love this.
Making bail, and if it goes to court, I sure don't have a case. 'Cause I ran out of money some time ago, but if you look at my wife, you'd never know. I'm afraid my baby's got champagne taste.
And that wipe.
You look at my wife, you'd never know. I'm afraid.
Yeah, just Rupp passing in front of the camera. We don't get to his point. He just walks past and we wipe to the bar. That transition is brilliant. This video, wow! This is so good. And this, for anybody who doesn't know, you know, this is fairly simple, but it's extremely effective. All they're doing here.
I ran out of money some time ago, but if you look at my wife, you'd never know.
We have this shot. And all that's going to happen is a straight line. You're going to take, the other shot is going to be behind it. And in a straight line, you're going to have a screen wipe. That just, if Rupp didn't walk across, you would see the line transition and the bar slide into frame, essentially. But because they put the line, they superimpose Rupp walking past it, and the line is behind his head. It disguises the transition completely. That's all that's going on. I mean, it's a little more complicated than that, and I'm making it sound, you know, 5th Gen did a really good job on this. But it's not a massively complicated trick to do that, but they've done it so cleanly. And it's so unexpected, too, because we have now been set up to expect Chris to pass the Jimmy Choo box to Adam. And instead, Adam just wipes the screen. Great stuff.
I'm afraid my baby's got champagne taste on a beer budget.
Again, something fancy. Pff, no, give me the beer. Give me a big beer, too. Lovely stuff.
All the bills.
And the lads sound effects. The belch, cracking open another beer. Simple things, but it sets the tone for where we're going with this. It's a little crude, but it kind of works with exactly what they're going for with this entire gag. So, sure. Did they actually crack open a beer, or was that Rupp? Because I would believe either one of those things.
All the bills are in my name. All the bills are in his name. They're gonna haul my ass away.
Oh, so this is Cool Guy in Shades on the Bucking Bronco. I see. I've got you now. I love this set. Like, this bar is Jack's Saloon, something Jack's Saloon, I guess. I really, really like this set. The dark colours are perfect because they stand out against them, especially because Tim's got the sort of white tank underneath the overalls, so he's already got like a pop of brightness. Let's talk English, David. But it's nice because it gives this really kind of rustic background, these dark kind of full colours, but like also saloon colours. It gives you that sense of, you know, this is a bar. Here's all the wood. Here's the, you know, the colours that sort of simulate a guy's bar. And they just pop out from it. And I just think it's a really smart decision. And you have a lot of depth of field, which means you get this sense that they're in a space, right? You can see how far back this goes, and they haven't attempted to hide that, which you could do, but I like the fact that they're letting us see the space that they're actually in. It brings us into their environ a little bit more. And again, this whole video is very much kind of, you know, you could almost take this whole thing being a whispered conversation with two people sitting next to each other on a table going like, oh God, you know what the missus did this time? And it could have that vibe to it because that's how brought into this video we feel by the way that they're presenting it. Great stuff.
All the bills are in my name. All the bills are in his name. They're gonna haul my ass away.
And this call and response, where they're repeating back what he just said, but talking about him in the third person. Lovely stuff. It's such a simple thing, but it allows us to have his line and then get this lovely chorus harmony coming through when they sing it back to him. Really nice stuff. And I like that I think he actually acknowledges it, right?
They're gonna haul my ass away.
Yeah, that look away there, it's almost like he's acknowledging them singing back to him, and I actually really like that. He might just be looking off screen, but it sort of includes the chorus, even though they're not on the screen right now.
And I won't see her pretty face at all.
Ah! Now you see, I spoke, but this doesn't matter because this isn't a gag. But if you pay attention to this mirror, where my mouse is circling on the screen on the left-hand side, you can see the extras coming across. And that's exactly what they needed to avoid, and they did avoid, when they did the gag of the line extending. It doesn't matter here, it's fine, it's people coming into a bar, who cares? But this is the problem with mirrors, is if they caught that in the other shot, it wouldn't have been as funny because you'd have seen it being prepped. So that just, I'm pointing that out not because there's anything wrong with this shot, there isn't, but because it proves my point of what could have happened with the other one, and they were very smart in making sure it didn't. We're also getting an example, this might just be a dodgy TV, but the other thing we're getting an example of over on the left-hand side here is an example of why it's hard to film a TV on camera. Because the refresh rate, which is how frequently the screen flickers in a given second, is not necessarily going to be the same as your camera, and it might not be synced up. So, you know, the camera's running at 30 frames a second, let's say. Well, that TV might be refreshing at 40 or 60 or 45 or something like that, which means you catch these flickers. It's why it's really hard to take a photograph of a screen. And so we have that going on here, which, you know, again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a thing that happens. But because it's in the shot and I saw it, I figured I'd just point that out. And I won't see her pretty face at all, 'cause the prison's nowhere near the mall. I love that. That's a great line. Because the prison's way up there for the line. And also, what a great line. I'm not going to see her face at all because the prison's nowhere near the mall. Great lyrics in this. Tim, I don't know who wrote the lyrics out of Tim and Joe and who wrote what, but they both did an absolutely killer job on this. I won't see her pretty face at all, 'cause the prison's nowhere near the mall. Prison's nowhere near the mall. Prison. That's like 2.5 octaves he just slides down there over the course of that. That's nice. Nicely done. And you have all the extras who've come into the shot. And again, you know, it doesn't matter that you saw them coming in, who cares? But it's a smart gag. I love that we pull back and now all the lads and their friends and all the ladies who've come in to join this, anybody who just wants to have a beer and a good time on a beer budget, is now here in the back of the shot. Great stuff. The prison's nowhere near the mall. Now I'm heading to the poorhouse or heading to jail. If I end up there, I ain't making bail. And if it goes to... And I love that we have the sound of revelry in the background. It's great because, again, this group of people has now joined in with the song. They're not outside of it. Like, they're not there listening. They're a part of it. They've made them that by adding those simple sound effects. Now I'm heading to the poorhouse or heading to jail. If I end up there, I ain't making bail. And if it goes to court, I sure don't have a case. I love it. I know these groups are all close, and I just love the fact that, of all people, here's Avi. In a cowboy hat, looking like he fits in perfectly with this, except he's the one with the champagne glass. I ran out of money some time ago, but if you look at my... Tim's expression! I love that. Oh, yeah, cheers, mate. Wait, what? That's so good! Well played. Well played. The humor in this video is on point. I am here for all of it. I sure don't have a case. I ran out of money some time ago, but if you look at my wife, and no one else. I love that no one bats an eyelid. Literally, no one else notices. But Tim's just like, wait, what? It's sorry. This is so funny. I ran out of money some time ago, but if you look at my wife, you never know. I'm afraid my baby's got champagne taste. On a beer budget. That's so good. I love that we get a subversion of what we think is going to happen here. We get the tay, and then the pause before the on a beer budget, and then it's spoken again in this beautiful deep voice at the end of it. On a beer budget. in the background. Oh my. Oh dear. I love the idea that Arvi is the champagne taste now. It's not the hot wife anymore. It's Arvi. That's so good. What a fantastic gag. I'm not done with this yet, by the way. I am going back on it. But just the humor in this video, they have skirted the line the whole way of, is this almost taking it too far? Is the humor distracting from everything else a little bit? But they never quite get to that point. It's always exactly funny enough. This is so good.
On a beer budget.
I love this back and forth between the whistle and Tim just... That's a really nice dialogue there, because I feel like the whistling, just as much as everything else that the other guys are doing, has been part of the support for this, even when they're singing lyrics, but it hasn't necessarily... It's all been in support. And now all of a sudden it's being included as well. Everything is gradually included in this, right? Every character that we have met in this video, with the exception of the wife, has gradually become more and more of the song. And I really, really like that. There's a lot to unpack in those final few bars. Let's jump back a section. Firstly, lovely high note on the whistle there from Rob. He's got quite a range on his whistle too. Clean run there from Tim too. Again, it's challenging to do runs at the best of times, but humming is actually quite hard. That was very, very slick. And I love that ending is bass-led, so Tim leads us out. We had here the boom, 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 the whole way through this, but now he's very, very clearly vocalizing in the video. He's boom, 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 boom. He's actually making the shapes, singing along. Really lovely. And it's also a simple bum 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 bum. Very simple bass line, but it's very, very effective running into the ending. And I love what Adam is doing over the top of this. He's giving us the effect of, you've got this, you've had this kind of brush effect the whole time, but now he's giving the effect of almost like a rim shot where it's hitting the side of the snare and you're getting that kind of that why am I even trying? I can't do that. But it's giving you the metallic hit of if you've clipped the side of the snare rather than actually hitting the drum itself, which is a sound we haven't had, I don't think. If we did, I missed it, but I don't think it's been there. And it's just giving us a slightly different sound to hear out the remainder of these last couple of bars. And I really, really like that he's just changed things up a little bit himself as well. Arvi stealing the scene for a second here. I love that he doesn't move the whole time and then just leans back like he's gonna fall off. But he's on the Bronco and not like he's balanced clearly. But and just 1 foot up in the... What? Sorry, going back to the singing. Oh. I really like what they've done. Ow, ow. The slow rise up to that note. That's a really nice ending. Kind of gives you a little sense of almost like, bending guitar strings, things like that. Like, it's got a kind of very country sound to it, but produced by voices, which I really like. And just a really nice resolution onto that chord at the end. That is just a brilliant ending. Short but sweet, but my goodness, I loved that. It's a great song. The lyric writing is spot on. Like the way that the song scans too. The scansion's great. And the humor in that video. I don't know what the new video is like, but this one is top of the line. That was so good. Well played, guys. You did a great job with this one. And thank you to those who recommended this to me too. I really enjoyed that. Once again, I forgot to say it at the beginning. The link to the original is in the description, as well as a link to Home Free's channel. Do go and check them out. Thank you for watching this with me, especially if you're still here at the end. I really appreciate that. Hopefully I brought you something, whether it's, you know, you hadn't heard the song before, you hadn't heard Home Free before. Go down and check them out if you hadn't. They're fantastic. Or you know this back to front. You've seen it on and off, or on and on and on for the last 10 years. You love it, but maybe, hopefully, I managed to just put something out there where you're like, oh, I'd never noticed that before. Oh, now I understand why I like that thing. That's sort of what I'm trying to do here, and if I've achieved that, I am very happy, man. Yeah, thank you for watching. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you would care to support the channel, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts for a single donation of any amount, to patreon.com/DavidKReacts, where you can sign up for $2 or $4 Canadian, I think it is. I keep meaning to check that and keep failing. But it's 2 low-end tiers that are just there to allow you to engage in some ongoing support for the channel. It does give you access to my Discord. Or you can leave a super thanks here on YouTube, and any of those are very gratefully appreciated. That's it for this week. I had a really good time with this one. That was spot on. I am recording this a little bit in advance, just as a heads up. I'm trying to go on the plan that I always have one more video than I need recorded. And I did manage. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to get one in because it's a really, really busy week, the week that this comes out. And I was wondering if I was going to have to put my replacement Voctave video out as my actual release, which I didn't really want to do because it's already partially been up, blah, blah, blah. So I'm glad that I was able to squeeze something else in. But yes, just be aware I'm pre-recording these. So if anyone's signed up to Patreon in the meantime, your name will not be on the list at the end of the video, simply because I have recorded this and edited it ahead of time. So you will be on the next video if you joined up in the interim. But thank you all. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. I hope that you have an absolutely marvelous afternoon, evening, nighttime, morning, dusk, twilight, I don't know, whatever time it happens to be. 12:37 p.m. Look after yourselves, take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.